Hey, what's up? Today I'm going to show you how you can find the rear differential ratio, axle ratio, whatever you want to call it, but it's the gear ratio of the gears. You get what I'm trying to say in the rear end of your truck or substantially large SUV. Excursion. So why do you want to know your gear ratio anyway, or what's the point, or why does it really matter? Essentially, your truck is going to be optimized for one of two things, either towing or cruising. And depending on how you want to use your truck, you're going to want to know what you've got back there for gears. Because if you plan on using it for towing, there's certain gears that are more advantageous to that. If you plan on just cruising around, using it as a commuter truck, you know, maybe throwing a light duty trailer on it or something like that, there's gears that are optimized for that. So it's helpful to know what you got back there. For Ford models, first we're going to open up the driver's side door. Sometimes there won't be the sticker on the door, but it's actually on the frame. So it's either going to be located right up here, or in this case, right down here. We're going to look on the sticker where it says axle code, which is right here. And we can see the axle code is 31. So now we look up axle code 31, and we figure out what we have. We have a 3.73 gear ratio on either a F-250 or an Excursion, and that's exactly what we have here is a Ford Excursion. GM and Chevy models are a little bit different in that we open up our driver's side door. We're going to find this handy little sticker right on the door, but we're not going to find anything to do with the axle. So we got to go over to the passenger side door, open her up, open up the glove box, and you're going to have a sticker right in here. If you don't have a sticker in here, you're kind of SOL. Usually it's located underneath whatever you stash in your glove box. And we have this crazy, confusing mess of long alphabetical numerical codes, which is going to be a fun time. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to look through all of these codes until we find one that matches. And we might actually find one or two that are going to tell us different things about our rear differential. One of them is going to tell us the type, and one is going to tell us the actual ratio. So we're just going to go look through these alphabetically. And typically it's going to start with either F or G. Those are going to be the codes that have to do with your rear axle. In our big laundry list of codes on our sticker here, we see two somewhat relevant codes. The first one is G80, which tells us that it's not an open diff. So essentially that doesn't tell us what our gear ratio is, but this next one here does, GT5. We look that code up and we see that that tells us that our rear axle has 410s. So our gear ratio is 410 for this truck. So there you go. That's how you can find your rear axle codes and figure out the ratio from there on your Ford, GMC, Chevrolet, Dodge, kind of left you hanging. But if you found that helpful, go ahead, give this video a like, I'd appreciate it. If you got any other suggestions, ideas, ways that you know how to, figure out your gear ratio, leave a comment below and let the rest of us know. Help us out. So I'm gonna post all of the different codes that I know in the description of this video, or at least links to them. So that way you will have all that information and can easily access it. A couple of things to keep in mind. One, if your rear differential's ever been modified, this obviously isn't going to work because the stickers no longer make sense. So if you've had those gears replaced or swapped out, doesn't work. This will work for most models, but sometimes you don't have any of those stickers. Then your next best bet is probably taking a VIN number, maybe bringing it to a dealer, or looking it up by VIN to try to figure out what was the original axle that came with your truck.